In a polarized America where cultural and political divides shape public discourse, the Patriot Spotlight interview featuring Hollywood icon Brad Pitt and White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt became a defining moment. What began as a promotional segment for Pitt's film Borders of Hope escalated into a fiery confrontation, culminating in Pitt's abrupt exit from the stage. This unscripted clash, hosted by veteran broadcaster James Thornton, exposed the fault lines between Hollywood's emotional storytelling and the Trump administration's pragmatic political stance, particularly on immigration. Amplified by social media and news outlets, the event sparked widespread debate, reflecting the challenges of bridging art and politics in a deeply divided society. This analysis explores the incident's dynamics, its cultural significance, the roles of Pitt, Levitt, and Thornton, and the broader lessons for navigating public discourse. The Patriot Spotlight stage was set for a seemingly lighthearted interview, blending entertainment and politics. Brad Pitt, a global cinematic legend known for his charisma and liberal leanings, appeared to promote Borders of Hope, a film centered on the human struggles of immigrants. His counterpart, Caroline Levitt, the young and sharp White House press secretary under President Trump's second administration, represented a conservative perspective emphasizing national security and policy realities. Host James Thornton, with his seasoned poise and knack for steering high-stakes discussions, opened the show with a warm yet commanding presence, signaling the potential for an intellectual duel. The audience, a diverse mix of Pitt's fans clutching Borders of Hope posters and Trump supporters in red MAGA shirts, reflected the polarized cultural landscape. Thornton's opening question to Pitt about the inspiration behind Borders of Hope set a friendly tone. "What made you want to tell this story?" Pitt responded with sincerity, emphasizing the film's universal themes of hope and shared dreams. "The film is about people fighting for a better life," he said, his warm voice and charismatic gaze resonating with his fans, who clapped enthusiastically. Conservative audience members, however, remained reserved, their silence hinting at the tension to come. Thornton then turned to Levitt, asking her thoughts on Hollywood's portrayal of immigration. Her response was measured but incisive. "I deeply respect the art, but films tend to paint a prettier picture than reality. Immigration is tied to national security and the economy." Citing over 2 million border crossings straining local communities, Levitt's data-driven argument contrasted sharply with Pitt's emotional appeal. The audience stirred, with conservatives nodding in approval, setting the stage for a deeper clash. As Thornton probed further, asking if art and politics could align, the conversation grew tense. Pitt maintained that films like Borders of Hope weren't meant to solve policy debates, but to inspire empathy. "If we only focus on numbers, we might forget those human stories," he said, his voice steady but tinged with defensiveness. Levitt countered swiftly, arguing that Hollywood's influence carries a responsibility to present a balanced view. "When films oversimplify issues like immigration, they can lead the public to misunderstand tough decisions," she said, her calm delivery masking the weight of her challenge. Her reference to veiled propaganda struck a nerve, prompting murmurs from Pitt's fans and applause from conservatives. The exchange highlighted a fundamental divide: Pitt's reliance on storytelling to evoke compassion versus Levitt's insistence on grounding discussions in policy realities. Thornton, sensing the rising tension, leaned into the debate, asking whether Hollywood's portrayals deepen political polarization. Levitt seized the opportunity, asserting that one-sided narratives, focusing solely on immigrant struggles without acknowledging the strain on American communities, contribute to division. Hollywood has the power to shape public opinion, but it needs to be responsible, she said, her words like a precise arrow hitting its mark. Pitt, visibly unsettled, reiterated that his film aimed to spark dialogue, not dictate policy. "I'm not here to write policy, but to touch hearts," he said, his voice rising with frustration. Thornton, maintaining neutrality, pressed further. "Is Hollywood harming political discussions by telling only one side?" This question, like a spark in dry grass, pushed the debate to its breaking point. Levitt responded with confidence, arguing that films like Borders of Hope risk steering thought by omitting the challenges faced by border communities. Pitt, his composure fraying, countered that art doesn't need to carry a political burden. "We're telling stories, not preaching politics," he said, his fingers trembling slightly, betraying his unease. The audience sensed the gap, with Pitt's fans clapping faintly while conservatives grew emboldened, their applause drowning out the murmurs. Feeling cornered, Pitt's patience snapped. When Thornton invited him to respond again, he stood abruptly, his eyes flashing with anger. "I didn't come here to be interrogated like this," he declared, his voice trembling. "I wanted to talk about the film, not get dragged into a political argument." Striding off the stage, he left the studio in stunned silence, followed by whispers, boos, and scattered applause. Levitt remained seated, her faint smile betraying no triumph, only quiet confidence. Thornton, ever the professional, smoothly transitioned, thanking both guests and praising the passionate discussion while the audience processed the shock. Pitt's exit was a rare public misstep for a star known for his poise. Backstage, he vented to his team, frustrated that the interview veered into a political ambush. "I just wanted to talk about the film, but she was too sharp," he admitted, his voice heavy with regret. His manager reassured him, framing the walkout as a defense of his artistic vision, but Pitt's distant gaze suggested lingering unease. Levitt, in contrast, handled the aftermath with grace. She thanked Thornton for a fair stage and engaged with supporters in the lobby who praised her for speaking the truth. Her calm demeanor and intellectual precision solidified her image as a rising political star. Thornton, viewing the event as a triumph for Patriot Spotlight, faced mixed feedback. Some praised his neutrality, but Pitt's fans criticized him for letting the debate spiral. In a post-show meeting, Thornton defended the format. "We provided a fair stage." Pitt and Levitt decided the outcome. The show's soaring ratings underscored its success, proving the public's appetite for such clashes, but some accused Thornton of cornering Pitt, highlighting the delicate balance of hosting contentious debates. The incident exploded on social media, particularly on X, where audience recorded videos of Pitt's exit and Levitt's poised response went viral. Hashtags like #Pitt v. Levitt trended, with posts reflecting polarized reactions. Conservative users, such as True Patriot 2025, celebrated Levitt. "She taught Hollywood a lesson." Pitt couldn't respond and ran. Pitt's fans, like Pitt Forever, defended him. "Brad didn't need to stay and get dragged into dirty politics. He's an artist." Neutral voices offered balanced takes, with one user noting, Levitt was too sharp, but Pitt doesn't deserve the hate. He wasn't prepared for a political battle. Memes proliferated, pairing Pitt's exit with captions like, "When you think you're promoting a movie, but meet Caroline Levitt." Media outlets amplified the divide. Fox News hailed Levitt as a young firebrand who outmatched Pitt, while CNN sympathized with Pitt, arguing he was unfairly thrust into a political arena. Variety's analysis framed the clash as a symbol of the broader cultural divide. This wasn't just Pitt versus Levitt. It was Hollywood versus conservative politics, emotion versus reason. The article, widely shared on X, fueled further debate, with many agreeing the event was a cultural milestone. Pitt's team issued a statement. Brad came to promote Borders of Hope and its humanitarian message. He left to protect his artistic vision. While the statement garnered support from fans, conservatives mocked it, with one ex-post commenting, "Protecting art or running because he couldn't debate?" Pitt stayed silent publicly, but at a later charity event in Los Angeles, he addressed the incident with humility. "I wasn't prepared for a political battle," he admitted, "but I learned you have to be ready for anything." His candor helped mend his image, with fans on X praising his sincerity. Brad's still a legend. Levitt capitalized on the moment to bolster her reputation. In a Newsmax interview, she emphasized that her goal wasn't to confront Pitt, but to offer a realistic perspective. "I respect Brad as an artist, but we need honest discussions," she said. Her performance earned praise from President Trump, who commended her for showing Hollywood we're not afraid to speak the truth. Levitt's humility and intellect made her a symbol of the young political generation, with ex-posts declaring, "Levitt is the future." Thornton and Patriot Spotlight faced mixed feedback. Some praised Thornton's neutrality, but Pitt's fans criticized him for letting Levitt dominate. Thornton stood his ground, declaring, "We don't want drama, we want truth," positioning the show as a platform for candid debates. The soaring ratings proved its success, but the criticism underscored the challenge of maintaining impartiality in a polarized climate. The clash occurred during Trump's second term, a period marked by heightened focus on immigration policy. The administration's strict border security measures clashed with Hollywood's often liberal narratives, as embodied by Borders of Hope. Studies such as a Pew Research report indicate that 62% of Americans view polarization as a major issue, with media and cultural figures amplifying divisions. Hollywood's tendency to prioritize emotional stories, as Levitt argued, can oversimplify complex issues, while conservatives focus on data, risks alienating those moved by personal narratives. The Patriot Spotlight event crystallized this divide. Pitt's film, by highlighting immigrant struggles, aligned with progressive calls for compassion, but it overlooked the policy challenges Levitt emphasized, such as resource strain and national security. Her reference to 2 million border crossings echoed real concerns, with U.S. Customs and Border Protection data reporting similar figures. This tension between heart and reason mirrors broader debates shaping American politics. The incident offers several lessons for navigating public discussions. Preparation is essential. Pitt's lack of readiness for a political debate left him vulnerable to Levitt's sharp arguments. Public figures must anticipate challenges beyond their expertise. Balancing emotion and reason. Levitt's success stemmed from blending calm delivery with factual arguments, while Pitt's emotional appeals faltered under scrutiny. Effective communication requires both. Respectful dialogue is key. The clash showed how quickly discussions escalate when one side feels ambushed. Levitt's composure contrasted with Pitt's frustration, highlighting the value of staying calm. Polarization amplifies divisions. Social media and media coverage reflected how polarized audiences interpret events through opposing lenses. Neutral voices calling for both heart and reason suggest a path forward. Influence carries responsibility. Hollywood's cultural power, as Levitt argued, demands balanced perspectives, while political figures must engage with emotional narratives to connect broadly. The Pitt-Levitt clash is a microcosm of America's cultural fault lines. Hollywood's influence struggles to resonate with policy-driven audiences when it prioritizes emotion, while political figures like Levitt risk alienating those who value human stories. The event underscores the power of unscripted moments in shaping perception, as seen in the viral spread of videos and Thornton's ability to capitalize on the drama. For Pitt, the walkout was a misstep, but his later humility helped restore his image. Levitt's triumph solidified her as a formidable communicator, with potential to shape the Trump administration's messaging. Thornton and Patriot Spotlight emerged as platforms for contentious debates, though navigating bias accusations remains a challenge. Social media, particularly X, amplified and polarized reactions, with viral videos and memes deepening divisions. Yet neutral voices suggest a desire for dialogue, even if drowned out by partisan noise. The clash highlights the need for honest, respectful discussions to bridge the divide between art and politics. The Patriot Spotlight clash between Brad Pitt and Caroline Levitt is more than a celebrity meltdown or political victory. It's a snapshot of America's struggle to reconcile emotion and reason. Pitt's exit, driven by unpreparedness, contrasted with Levitt's poised arguments, reflecting the broader cultural divide. The aftermath, social media debates, media analyses, and the participants' responses underscored the challenges of fostering constructive dialogue. The event, amplified by viral X posts and polarized media coverage, revealed how quickly narratives split along ideological lines, with Pitt's fans defending his artistic intent and Levitt's supporters praising her logical precision. This divide mirrors America's broader polarization, where emotional storytelling and policy-driven pragmatism often clash, leaving little room for nuance. The lesson is clear. Public discussions require preparation, respect, and openness. Pitt's exit highlighted the risks of entering contentious forums unprepared, while Levitt's success showed the power of clarity and composure. Thornton's role facilitated a candid exchange that captivated audiences, yet his neutrality sparked debate over whether he allowed the confrontation to escalate too far. In a polarized society where issues like immigration fuel fierce debates, the clash urges us to bridge heart and reason through honest dialogue. Effective communication demands balancing empathy with facts, as Levitt did, while avoiding the emotional overwhelm that led to Pitt's departure. By preparing thoroughly and engaging respectfully, public figures can foster understanding, even when perspectives differ sharply. The event serves as a reminder that dialogue, though challenging, is essential for mending cultural divides and building a society where diverse voices coexist with mutual respect.